Hello everybody, thank you for watching Mikey Talks. I'm your host Mikey, and today I'm going to talk about this post I seen on Instagram earlier. And the reason I'm going to talk about this post isn't because of the post itself. The post is fun, but I read some of the comments and I wanted to kind of just talk about the comments. And so the post is about Jonas and his girlfriend and how his girlfriend is taller than him, which is not a big deal. But through the comments you get a wide range of opinions and stuff, so I wanted to talk about that. And I separated them into different categories. And the categories I'm going to talk about is insecurity, the jokes about his height, talking about his money, how height does not matter, and the preferences that people have. And before I start talking about the comments, I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers, and you could be one of my first subscribers, so why don't you subscribe down below and help me achieve my goal. So first, I wanted to talk about insecurities, because I feel like there's a lot of instances of insecure people on here. So here we go. I'm a short guy, and it's kind of annoying when girls on Tinder states that they want a taller guy than them in their profiles, or just swipe left. And then someone commented, "I'm sorry, I am girls, but to my defense, I'm a tall ass girl." And then the bottom comment is, well, to most shorter guys, my height has been a turnoff. I understand having preferences though. Not everyone has to like me. Now that's a good point, so I want to talk about this just as a whole. So the first guy, when he talks about social media, or not social media, but Tinder, and how girls on Tinder don't like his height. The thing is, dating websites are not really how you find, you typically don't find good quality people on dating websites. And that's because dating websites don't allow you to actually get to know the person for who they are, and you get to judge them based on how they look. So if someone has a preference for people that are taller than they are, it's easy for them to dismiss anyone that does not fit that requirement, especially since there's a lot of people on the dating website, so they could just keep swiping left, I believe, until they find someone that fits that requirement, and then they could go from there. But in person, and why it's better to date in person, is because you get to show more of who you are, and you get to show more of your personality. So when you show more of your personality and they like who you are as a person, that height preference is not as important anymore, because they get to know you as a person. Now there are some exceptions to that, but that is just what I found to be better, is just finding people in person, because it's easier for preferences like that to not mean as much when they get to know who you are as a person. And then at least the girl that's like, sorry, I'm girls, but in my defense, I'm a tall ass girl. At least she is honest, and that's what all this is about, is just being honest. Everybody has their preferences, and it's okay. No one should feel bad about their preference. But she's also a tall girl, and a lot of girls do like people that are the same height or taller than them. But I don't know, maybe she is also insecure about her height, so she doesn't want to date someone shorter than her, because her insecurity would make her feel less feminine if she did date someone smaller than she is. Just like short guys are insecure about their height, tall girls tend to be insecure about their height because they feel less feminine if they date someone shorter than them, but that's not always the case. Bruh, girls are always asking me about my height on Tinder, like what's your weight? 5'10". Apparently I'm a midget. Short guys are pressed when girls taller than them don't want to date them, but then they never want to date a fat girl or something. That's a double standard, but it's also preference. But I feel like this screams insecurity in a way to me, because not her, but the short guy is rejected by a taller girl and then blames his height. That guy's more than likely insecure about his height. And it's easier to blame your height for the reason you're rejected than it is to blame the real reason. Because I'm 5'5", I've been rejected a lot before. But I don't think I've ever been rejected by my height. Odds are I got rejected because they didn't know me too well. Maybe they were going through a hard time, didn't want to be in a relationship. Maybe they just didn't feel like being in a relationship at the time. Maybe they're trying to work out their life and just didn't want to date someone at the time. I also been rejected by someone just to find out that they're lesbian, so I'm pretty sure that's the reason why. It had nothing to do with my height. So when people blame their height for being rejected, it's just them digging out their insecurity because they're insecure about their height, and it's just way easier to blame your height when you're a short guy on being rejected than your actual reason. So yeah. I know, right? My brother won't date someone taller than him because he wants to be big and strong and compares dating a tall girl to dating a man. It's just height. No one has control over it. First of all, I want to say there is a way to control your height when you're short. What they do is, there is a surgery for it, and it's a cosmetic surgery, but it's very painful, and I hear it's not worth it. But if you're a short guy and you want to change your height, there is a way to change it. What they do is, you get a surgery where they break your legs, put a middle rod in, and then stretch your legs out little by little, like a centimeter a day. And they do that over the course of a couple months, and you can grow anywhere from 1 inch to about 4 inches. But you could double check me on this because I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, you can't take you can't take painkillers when you're doing this because the painkillers will mess with the bone growth. So you have to go through this whole thing of your legs being broken and stretched out without any painkillers. And it's very painful, and a lot of people regret it afterwards because they say it's not worth extra height. But there are people that are happy with extra height. So there is a way to change your height if you're short. Just saying. But going on, this is just a guy being shallow and insecure about his height, because if he was insecure about his height, it wouldn't matter to him if a girl is taller than him or not. And to compare dating a tall girl to dating a man, it's just a stupid comparison. It's just, this whole thing just makes me feel like the guy's very insecure. It doesn't have to be shallow, but it comes down to an insecurity about his height, and that's, in my opinion, what it comes down to. I think it's because today, a lot of girls don't prefer a shorter dude. So, you know, it's nice when some girlies don't mind. You know, true love is rare these days. Well, true love only seems rare because people tend not to get to know someone for their personality, but judge people based on their looks, which is a bad way to judge people overall. I feel like that is the exception, not the rule. I want to point out this. It's because a lot of girls don't prefer a shorter dude, so it's nice to know that some girlies don't care. That is not true. Because although a lot of girls might have preference to someone taller than them, or at least the same height as them, when it comes down to it, when they get to know your personality, a lot of girls tend to stop caring about height or don't care as much about height when they get to know you as a person and get to know you for who you are. So the statement, it's nice to know some girlies don't mind. I have a problem with that some, because the rule, in my opinion, and what I've noticed, is when girls get to know you as a person you are, height doesn't really matter as much. The exception is girls that actually do care about height and refuse to date someone because of their height. That is the exception. It's not the rule like some of these people are trying to make it sound. As a short guy, this one is one of the main reasons I get rejected. You should see the girl's face when I show up to a date and they see my height. Always hearing, "You're funny, but I wish you were taller." I've actually had a girl ask me to wear height insoles in my shoes. I'm 5'7". This shows me that odds are he's dating online or trying to find dates online. I don't think he really is showing his height or anything like that, otherwise they would know how tall he was. And when someone expects someone taller than you, and you come in and you're shorter than what they expected, or you're shorter than average, they could be a little shocked by it just because it just wasn't what they were expecting. Does it make them bad? No, it's just they were expecting something different. But the thing is, this makes it sound like a lot of girls really do care about height, but it's nothing to really do about height at all. That guy's 5'7". He's taller than I am. I'm 5'5", so he has a good 2 inches on me. But I know for a fact a lot of girls don't really care about height because I am almost 23. I turned 23 in a month. And in the past 10 years, I've had at least 5 different girls between 5'2"-ish and like 5'7" tell me that they liked me and express their feelings for me. I've also been rejected by a lot of girls as well. And when I got rejected by the girls, I don't think I've ever got rejected because of my height. I got rejected because they moved and didn't want a long distance relationship. I've been rejected because I accidentally asked out a lesbian because I didn't know she was a lesbian. I got rejected mainly because I didn't really know them too well, and that's probably why I got rejected a few times. There's a couple different reasons why I got rejected, and I don't think any reason is because of my height. And I feel like this person is a little insecure about his height just because of dating online and what girls that thing about how a couple girls told him to wear insoles or whatever and his shoes to appear taller. That can really damage your perception of your height and feed your insecurity, and it's not good. My advice is just to be comfortable with who you are. And the last part about the insecurity is this. I was in an abusive relationship with a shorter guy. I'm 5'9", he was 5'6", and the main point is he used against me is height difference. He looked at me like a troll and looked nothing like a girl and might as well have been a boy. Based on this, I'm still very glad to see positive surrounding height differences in relationships. It's still required, y'all. This shows that a shorter guy can date a taller girl. But based on this, I can tell you that guy is insecure, because if you're insecure about his height, he wouldn't be saying that kind of stuff. This is a prime example of someone that is very insecure about being short, so they take it out on their taller girlfriend because they don't like being short and they wish they were taller. And one way to make them feel a little bit better about being short is to dig at her insecurity. I don't know if she's insecure or not, but tall girls typically are at least a little insecure about their height. So by trying to dig at that, trying to make her insecure about her height, trying to make her feel like a boy because she's taller, trying to make her feel just bad about being as tall as she is, that shows me that this guy is very insecure about his height. And he's trying to make her insecure about her height as well, just because he feels bad for being short. And that is, in my opinion, what's going on and what happened. But it doesn't mean that all short guys are like that. And it doesn't mean that all tall girls are ugly either. Because there are some really beautiful tall girls out there, and there are some really hunky short guys out there. It really doesn't matter. Height is just height. And that's all for the insecurity part.